Sorry, we're about to go live on God Manifest. Good morning, welcome to God Manifest. We started a little late today. God really put it on our hearts to really focus on the worship this morning. So we spent a little bit extra time in worship and just waiting to hear what God wants to do today. I really feel like today God's breaking off depression over the church, over our hearts, over our minds. There's going to be a freedom as you all listen today that God's just going to release you from depression, break those chains of depression, ancestral curses of depression that's on your family. God's going to be healing those today. Today's title is called Peace of Mind, not like a piece of cake, but peace as in the peace in your heart. God's really put it on my heart to start teaching on this today, and amidst the chaos, I feel like there's a lot of attacks, a lot of chaos, a lot of things changing in people's lives, and it's hard to find peace to hear the voice of God. Did you know peace is one of the 7 fruits that you can find in Galatians 5:22? And throughout my walk, I've realized that where you find peace, you're able to hear the voice of God clearly. In John 16:33, it states, "I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Earlier, right after worship, I was sharing that we needed to stand in the revelation that God is good. It's even more vital to stand in that revelation that He is good during our trials, during our hardest times, being able to praise Him through the trials, through the adversities. Years ago, my parents owned a convenience store, just like most Asian families. Yeah, it's true. We also know martial arts from birth. But like most Asian families, we owned a restaurant at one point. We owned a convenience store. Our convenience store, with those in Houston that know where Third Ward is, we were in the heart of Third Ward. It was called Southmore Market. That was a place where God started birthing a ministry through me to the homeless, the addicts, and the prostitutes on the street. But while in Third Ward, before I entered that store, my parents and I were talking. So I went probably a year without talking to them. But I was still close to my brother. And one day, as we're leaving, I owned a graphic design studio down the street here in Delaware, Texas. As I'm leaving, I told my team, "Hey guys, let's go out for a night. It's all on me. It's been a successful month. Whatever y'all want, food, drinks, pool, we're gonna party it up tonight," as my way of saying thank you to you. As we were leaving my studio, my phone rang. It was my brother. It's about time when he was leaving the afternoon shift at my parents' store. And I said, "Hey David, just in time. You want to meet us at Slick Willie's? You want to go play some pool?" The night's on me. We've had a very good, successful month. And on the other end, I didn't hear my brother's voice. I heard my mom's. She said, "Zen," which is my Chinese name and my middle name, "Your brother is injured. Come to the store." I find out later she hung up because she was beaten and she passed out. Last time I had a call like this, it was when I was in 8th grade. It said, "Zen, come home." And I was at Keller Middle School. "Your uncle's been injured at his store." I came home. My aunt's uncle dropped off food. We turned on the news, and a picture of him and his business partner were on the news. He was murdered. He wasn't injured, he was murdered. Shot 13 times. So needless to say, when I get a similar call about my brother, first thought was, David's dead. David's my brother. He and I were both named by a Catholic priest in New Jersey when I was born. It's David and Jonathan. And at that time when we were named, I didn't know David and Jonathan were in the Bible, and I especially didn't know they were associated to each other until I was at a service at Lakewood Church when I heard the names combined and they were talking about the relationship between David and Jonathan. That was a pastor friend of mine, and I thought, he's talking about my brother. So, anyways, just a fun story about David and I. But I froze. My business partner turned and looked at me and said, "Everything okay, John?" And I went, "I think my brother's dead." As a prophetic man, God shows me things in my family. God did not show me this. It hit me like a brick wall. When I was in high school, my brother went out to pick up my mom's friend, and I was in the back, and I ran out butt naked, and I looked at my mom and said, "David just got hit by a Ryder truck pulling out a driveway at a storage facility." My mom said, "Shut up, you're crazy." She knew I was spiritual, but we sat and waited. The phone rang from the hospital. "May I speak with Mary King? Your son, David Trong, has been in a car accident." We show up, David said, "A Ryder truck hit me as I was pulling out, trying to find mom's friend." So I expect to know. But what happens, and a lot of times God will let us know things in advance to cushion the blow. God didn't let me know this time. So my expectation was my brother's dead. So here I am looking at my friend DJ, and I handed him my credit card and I said, "Dude, the night's on me. Just take our boys out, party it up, have a good time, tell them thank you. I need to go to my family store." He was like, "What happened?" And I said, "None of your business, it's fine, don't worry about it. I need to go to my family store." And he knew that I was a strain from my family, so to him that was a big deal. Like, why am I showing up at their store? Because at that time, there's a lot of issues between me becoming a Christian that my family was getting over. So we ride the elevator. I was on the 4th floor. We get down. I'm walking towards my truck, and he says, "John, you shouldn't be driving." And I was like, "Y'all go have fun. I need to go find out what happened to my brother." And he's following me to my truck. Him and his cousin, who's my webmaster, because I own a design studio, was following me. I'm looking at him going, "I'm the boss, just go." I get in my truck, I turn the key, completely dead. I find out later, the next day, when I take my battery to AutoZone to get it checked, that it had 0 power. And I find out later, actually, that God drained my battery completely to keep me from driving in that emotional state. Like 0 power. The guy said, "What did you do? There's no power in this battery at all. It's not low, it's dead. It's completely dead." And I'm twisting my key, and I scream in the car. And I turn around, DJ and James are standing right there. Kind of like the Holy Spirit, right? I turn and look, and I'm like, they said, "Is your car not working?" I said, and I start crying. I said, "No, I don't know what to do." They said, "Hop in our car." And he looks at our employees and says, "The night's canceled. Go do whatever you want. We'll make it up. I need to take John to the store." So we hop in his car. He's driving, and it felt like eternity. It's only 20 minutes down the street. My office was on Bissonnette. Bissonnette becomes Benz as it hits the Highway 288. So I'm on Benz and Southmore. Benz goes across. You take a left on 288, take a right on Southmore. There's a Denny's there. That store behind Denny's is ours. So as we're pulling up in 3rd Ward, it looked like Christmas. There were blinking lights everywhere. And he started slowing down about 20, 25. I open the door and I start running. I jump out of the car. And I'm thinking, not only is my brother dead, my dad's probably dead, my mom's probably dead, no one's calling me back. And I'm running in, I look in the first police car. Because that area, 3rd Ward, it's a bit sketchy. But it became my neighborhood. After this, it became my neighborhood. So I'm running in, I look in the first police car, and on the back seat there was a young woman and a little child. And the holy man I was, I looked at her and I said, "If you hurt my brother, I'm killing you." And I run. Right? I'm a 2-year-old Christian at that point, 2005-ish. And I'm staring at her going, "You hurt my brother? And you have a child?" And I'm running, looking for an ambulance. The first ambulance was there. There were 3 ambulances, which to me was a bad sign because I had 3 family members there. There were 2 fire trucks in. Denny's was covered in police cars. My whole parking lot was covered in police cars. Sophomore was covered in police cars right down the thing. They came with their entourage. And I run to the first ambulance, and I grab the back door, pull it open, and I see my brother's size 14 feet. His feet are like Shamu's, huge. And I see his shoes, and I'm staring at his feet, and I see him sit up, and I'm like, and his eye was swollen so big. I've been in a lot of fights. I've created a lot of black eyes. I've seen a lot of black eyes. I had a black eye before. This is not normal. And I noticed he's covered in blood. His arm was stained in blood. His shirt was covered in blood. Blood was coming out of his eye. And he sits up and he goes, Jonathan. He goes, I'm not good. I looked at him and I said, you're alive. And he said, how'd you know about this? And I went, well, Mom called. And he goes, oh, I told her not to. And then behind me I hear, Zen! My mom's voice. The ambulance. 2 ambulances were back to back to each other. I turned around, and my mom's sitting there, bruised from head down to everything I can see. Her arms were bruised, her chest was bruised. You can see the knuckle prints all over her face. And she had a start of a black eye. She says, avenge me. Avenge our family. I need my old Jonathan back. To my friends, I was always a nice guy. But to my enemies, I was not. She said, I need my old Jonathan back. And I just nodded my head. And David said, no. Jonathan, stay who you are now. And I looked around and he goes, oh, Dad's inside. He's injured too. And by that point, I think you can ask Olivia, I hold my breath a lot. So I wasn't breathing. I just stared at him. And I walked like a zombie inside, and I slammed his door open, and then the police came up. They all reached for the gun, and my dad goes, my son! He was all bruised. And I'm staring at him, and they had a neck brace on him because he apparently got pushed on the floor. And I'm staring at him, and the police comes up to me and said, you're his son? I'm like, yes. What happened? And they try to tell me, and then I mentally blacked out. And I'm walking up and down my aisle, just screaming, really angry. The biggest fireman, he's like 6'6", big, muscular, like linebacker black guy, walks up to me and grabs my shoulder and said, son, breathe. You're gonna pass out. Breathe. And I looked up at this guy and I said, I would not be touching you right now. And he put his hands up. The police grabbed him and said, just give him some space. And I was saying, why, God? Why, God? Why? Y'all ever been there? When you're in a situation, you shared with us today about your dad. You get a situation, you're thinking, how can this happen? And I'm thinking, I'm a brand new Christian. All these miracles since I've been saved. Why? How can you let this happen? This is where the revelation of God is good comes into play. God is good. He didn't make that happen. I know that now. I did not know that then. And I was walking up and down the aisle, said, I am going to kill the people who did this to my family. I knew exactly where our guns were at in the store, and I'm looking around going, who was it? Who was it? Who was it? Why? All out loud, audibly. And my friend DJ walks up to me, and James walks up to me and said, everything okay? I was like, no. And I'm walking. They said, hey, you want to sit down and breathe? The police and the firemen and the paramedics were like, you need to calm your friend down. He's going to pop. He's going to pass out. And they're trying to calm me down, and I was pushing them off. And finally, I sat there and I said, how can you do this to me, God? People are watching me, and I said, yelling at God, how can you do this to me? And God said, pray for your enemies. Scripture I didn't even know. Pray for your enemies. And then God said, after all I've done for you, this is how you're going to repay me. And I screamed, pray for my enemies? And everyone's staring at me. I'm looking out at them. They're looking at me going, who is this guy talking to? And I said, God, pray for my enemies who try to kill my family? And I was like, can't do it. And people are watching. And I'm walking around going, what is wrong with this? I'm saved for 2 years. I serve a good God, I'm told, at church. I've seen him do good things. Why is this happening to me? And God says, stop. Pray for your enemy and watch what I'll do. And I paused, and I looked at my friend DJ, tears in my eyes, and I said, fine, I will pray for my enemy. And I said, I put my head down. I did not want to pray for these people. Or this. I didn't find out it was a God, one God. And I said, Jesus, I lift up whoever attacked my family and ask for their salvation. There was so much blood on the floor, and I was like, my mom and dad my brother were alive. So I was like, there's more blood in my driveway, in my parking lot than my brother lost. And I said, if my family injured him, heal his body. And I'm screaming it out loud. I'm screaming it passionately because I didn't want to. Y'all been there before? You're praying for something where someone you're not too fond of? And I was like, God, heal his body. Save his soul. And I was like, whoever else is involved, Lord, if that girl and that boy is involved, save their soul. And I'm praying and praying and praying. And I sat there, I looked up, and I inhaled. I went. Suddenly, peace of God hit me. And I paused and I looked around. Suddenly I was myself again. I'm calm under pressure. That was pressure I was not ready for. And I looked around and the big fireman walked up to me and said, good, keep breathing. And I looked at him and I said, still wouldn't touch me. And he goes, hey, at least you're breathing. And I went, and I looked, and then there was a policeman and a policewoman sitting there on chairs. And she looked at me and she goes, I've never seen anyone talk to God like that. You were arguing with God? I went, yes, he won. It's okay. And I said, what happened? What happened? I looked at my dad. My dad started blabbering because that's who he is. You can't understand him when he's crazy. And I looked at him and I said, shut up! You're here. Mom and Dad are in the ambulances. What happened? And the policeman pulled me aside and said, this is what we understand. This is what we understand. They were robbed. My dad said, for cigars. And I was like, robbed for cigars? That does not look like a cigar robbery. And later on, I find out that this man walks into the store, racist. That neighborhood was predominantly a black neighborhood. And it still is. Where? Predominantly Asian. So, obviously, we stood out. And that neighborhood grew to love us pretty quickly after this incident because of how we handled it. And I look around and I said, what happened? And the guy goes, a guy comes in, curses out your dad, throws coins at your dad, reaches over and grabs a box of Swisher Sweet cigars and walks out and flicks them off and curses them out. My dad goes wild because that's who he is. Starts screaming high heaven that he's been robbed. That box of cigars cost us $4. We sell it. It's $4. $4. Yeah. And my brother runs out. What happened? He robbed us. My brother, 6'2", that time by 260 pounds of muscle, goes after this guy for cigars. My brother gets in his face and said, hey, stop. The guy turns around face to face. Two big dudes staring down at each other. He says, what did you steal from us? And he goes, I didn't steal. Fewer words I can't say anymore. And he says, I paid you for the cigars. I threw it at your dad. But he goes, looks at the cigar and he goes, pulls out money, hands it to this guy and says, give me that back. We don't need your business. But that guy goes, what the hell? Walks away. My brother turns. My brother hears the door shut, he says. Turns around and a crowbar is hitting him in the face. And my mother, I share with y'all that she's tough. Y'all heard my testimony 2 weeks ago. She runs, 4'9" of her, pounces on the 6'4", probably 260-pound black guy, pounces on his face. Because that's how I used to fight when I was little. Compared to Nikki, I'm still little. But pounce on this guy's face. And This guy reaches up, grabs my mom, and starts to pummel her. And our customers were watching this, and they told me afterwards, she looked like a rag doll. They said the first hit, her body just looked lit. He just kept on hitting her. Mm. And then finally, enough hits, she came back and started screaming again. My brother sat up. Eye socket shattered. Looked up, saw that someone was attacking my mom, reaches out, grabs his pocket knife, and starts to stab this guy. Over and over and over. 10 or 12 times. That guy kept on going. He was high on something. And then he looks at my dad and says, "Do something. Get the gun." And my dad runs inside, gets the gun, and fires 2 shots on the floor. That guy turns and looks at my dad and says, "You want to shoot?" Walks back to his car and starts to reach under his thing. He goes, "I'm going to shoot you off first." So my brother's pulling on this guy. My dad's pulling on this guy with a gun in his hand. And this guy is still reaching. My brother looks at him and goes, "Shoot him." So my dad shoots 2 shots into the tire. And my brother to this day still wants to hit my dad for that. And then finally my brother shoved this guy into the car and tried to hold him. My brother was like, he was strong. And then this guy pushes up, turns and looks at my brother, and finally my dad walks up. My brother said he just closes his eyes and shoots 2 shots into his chest. And this guy touches himself and goes, "You stabbed me and shot me." He didn't even realize he was stabbed 12 times. He knew he was shot. And then he gets into the car. And that's when my brother looked in the back seat and saw a woman and a little boy. The boy was 10. Oh, Jesus. And this guy goes, "I'm getting out of here." He reverses out of our parking lot into Denny's parking lot, across the street, right into it. The door opens and this guy collapses. And by that point, the neighbors were running here. My family had the store. Probably at that point, I would say that particular store, about 8 months. They were fairly new to that corner. The neighbors came, checked on our family. The ambulance called, and there's a neighbor customer there named I called her Mama because she kept on feeding me good soul food, which is just like Chinese food, but no soy sauce. But it's awesome. And she walks up to me a day or 2 later, because I took over the store, and said, "Man, your mom was like a cat, pounced on the guy's face, and that guy beat her senseless." And she came to and started fighting again. And he was like, and he said, I said, "So what happened?" She goes, "After the guy drove off, your mom opened her eyes, reached over and grabbed the phone your brother dropped off the floor, and made a phone call, and then passed out again." That was to me. And I'm sitting there going, that sounds like my mom. That sounds like my mom. You know. Because growing up, be careful when you speak over your children. Growing up, my mom knew I was destined to become a Buddhist monk, but a Buddha, they said. But she also knew I had the inclination to kill somebody to protect my family. She said I was the only person that was able to do that in the family. Her and I, she said. And then her little brother, Kenny. She said, there's 3 of us, that if something went down in our family, you wouldn't hesitate to shoot. And evidence was my brother tried to stab away from his heart. My dad tried to shoot away from his chest. He gave him warnings, and I'm not sure what I would have done. You don't know until you're in that situation. So she knew when she saw me walk on that scene that I would have been for them. She didn't know that my God had other plans. So I'm learning all these things, and I just stopped and I went, okay, how do I get to them? I said, the ambulance just drove off. Do I need to sign something? I said, he took my dad already. My mom and dad are gone in the hospital. How do I get to them? And at the very moment I said that, the door swung open. The drunk homeless guy that we kick out of this door weekly walked in and said, and I was like, oh, crap. He goes, I'm a witness. And I was like, oh my gosh. He hates us. And he says, this family did nothing wrong but protect themselves. I will take the stand for them. The guy who hates us in a black neighborhood, We shot and stabbed a black guy. That doesn't happen. I find out later, the gangsters and the drug dealers and the prostitutes telling me, going, that typically doesn't happen in this neighborhood. We don't protect outsiders. He came in, and then a woman walked in and said, he's right. I was here too. I'm a witness. This family, it was self-defense. And then person after person started coming up. And I looked, and God says, you see what I've done? Because I did what he asked, it released the ability for him to do what he promised. Find out, my dad, my brother, my mom had a third, almost a fourth degree concussion. Bruises from her hit all the way up top of her head. Like I just picked her up and just beat her senseless. My dad had a black eye. He had a third degree concussion as well. Just got hit by a crowbar behind his head during the scuffle. My brother, shattered eye socket. He had a cut on his hand from the knife slipping. Pretty big deals that my family was alive. And I get to the hospital, and I overheard the nurses talk about my family and said, the guy who attacked them is in the ER. And I'm standing there, and I turn and I look, and they all look at me, and they realize I'm probably a family member. And I said, where in the ER? And they said, I don't know what you're talking about. We can't disclose that he's a patient right now. I went, he's in the building? Like the security guard walked up to me and I went, he's in the building. And I said, is there any way I can go into the operating room and pray for him? And they looked at me like I was crazy. Because I saw what God just did. And I went, all right, I guess God will avenge me his way. I'm going to go pray for this. Later on, a local black activist picketed my store. He's standing there picketing my store, saying that it was racially motivated, that we shot this kid for no reason, that all the witnesses claimed this and that, and that he's going to stand trial with this kid and all these things. And at that point, when this was happening, it was my birthday. So my brother didn't want to tell me. He's just on the phone my whole birthday. Then he goes, you should get everyone to go. It's at 5 p.m. My party ran to midnight. And I was like, why? He goes, Jonathan pulls up his phone. I'm like, crap. And tell everyone to leave. We get to the store, watching Channel 26 News. This activist is standing there with his 4 black Hummers and trying to pick at our store, tell a third ward to stop coming and shopping at our store to ruin us. That corner drug dealer gathered the other drug dealers, gathered the prostitute, gathered our neighbors. 30 people walked up to him and said, get off of the property. As he's walking up, Channel 26 is still filming him, and he says, here comes my brothers and sisters. That drug dealer walks up and says, we are not your brother or sister. They are our family. They give food away. They do things for their community. You steal from us. You take advantage of us. Get off of these people's property. The guy goes, come on, man. Be proud of who you are. And the guy goes, you can either get off or we can kick you off. He gets in his Hummers, his black cars, and drive off. I'm driving in there not knowing this. I walk up and I'm like, baby, told me something was going on. My mom all smiles, and I went, what happened? She goes, the neighborhood stood up for us. And I went, again? What is going on here? You know? And I told my mom, I said, man, my God is good. She goes, I don't know who he is, but if he's doing some stuff in our neighborhood, he's pretty good. I'm almost do this. And I'm sitting there going, what is going on here? And this man puts a lawsuit out for us. Claims it was racially motivated. He was encouraged by this black Houston activist. The day of the trial, he walks in My brother was dressed in a suit. My mom and dad were ready to go in. He walks into the judge and said, I changed my plea. I was high. I am a father. He had a stroke, so half his body was working. He walked into the cane. Half his body was thin. Right? And he says, I was not of my right mind. I walked in stereotyping these people. And he says, seeing the newscast and seeing how much this community loves them, I'm guilty. And I withdraw my lawsuit. So I'm calling my brother. I'm like, hey, make sure you let me know what's going on in the lawsuit. He goes, it's been dropped. I went, what's been dropped? And he said, the lawsuit. I said, how? Did the guy die? He says, he walked in and said he found Christ. He was wrong. He repented. He threw the lawsuit and walked out. Another miracle. In our life, we hear voices all the time. We get our emotions stir us up. It makes it hard for us to hear God. It could be the negative emotions, fear, anger, anxiety. It could even be good emotions, joy and excitement. It can cloud our judgment and our ability to hear from God. When I first met Olivia and I spent a lot of time praying for each other at night. Didn't know it was practice until later. But taking time to pray for each other hones your skills, hones your ability to hear God, even in chaos. We pray for each other even when we're mad at each other. We'll pause. Either she'll ask or I'll ask her to pray for me, or she'll ask me to pray for her. That ability to pause in that chaos, to pray for someone, will change the course of how you react. So Colossians 3:15 says, let the peace of Christ rule in your heart. Since as members of one body, you were called to peace, and be thankful. So here I am in the middle of a mental breakdown, an emotional breakdown. I was done. God spoke, instructed me to do exactly what I needed to do. I've had other mental breakdowns, and I did not hear God speak. But I felt a tug on my heart. And that's how I started learning that there were different ways of hearing Him. And that He doesn't have to do it alone. Even when my parents told me to avenge Him, I was a young Christian. There's a scripture that tells kids to obey their parents. I took that seriously. And I went, I was like, all right, you want me to obey my parents? I ain't gonna slaughter these people. I'm gonna avenge them. When God asked me to pray for my enemies, or at that time my enemy, who I thought was my enemy, I had no idea that Matthew 5:44 tells us to pray for our enemies. I was a new Christian. My friend DJ was the one that told me the next day. He says, so God told you to pray for your enemy? I said, yeah, what's up with that? And I said, I did it. Look what happened. But what does it say that in the Bible? He said, Matthew 5:44. And I went, it says that in the Bible? He shows it to me. I went, wow, go figure. His spoken word I heard confirmed His written word. Sometimes God will do it the opposite way. When I first started preaching years ago, my friend Anthony, who's like a dictionary, and right? He's like a dictionary of the Bible. And I used to be preaching and saying things when we're doing street evangelism. I'll be saying some stuff, and he goes, "That's Romans. That's this. That's this." And I'm like, I said, "Dude, write those down. Show it to me. I don't believe you." And He did. God will speak to each of us in the way that we need. A lot of us will look at the gifts that Tamisha's gift and go, God, I want you to manifest that way in my life, or the way Crystal hears in my life. God will manifest the way you need to hear in your life. We're all different. But He loves us all the same. And He speaks to us exactly the same. And then I learned, we were just talking to Rob Purple, the guy who spoke on Sunday, about hearing God and doing. Well, 1 Thessalonians 5:15 says, make sure that nobody pays back wrong for wrong, but always strive to do what is good for each other and for everyone else. So in one fell swoop, pray for your enemies. God fulfilled 2 scriptures that he said before I even existed. Of course, he knew me. And he probably knew everything was going to happen in my life. He knew my family was going to go through that. He also knew I was going to obey. Honestly, when I did it, I felt like I think emotional and mental stress can kill you. People will get a heart attack, no matter what age. And I was about to pop. But I heard his voice, even though I fought it initially. I told my wife this all the time. We'll talk about the timing of God when God tells us to do something. God knows exactly how many times he needs to tell you to do something. He knows it. So he says, I need her to do this for me next Saturday. I'm going to start telling her today. I'm going to tell her tomorrow. I'm going to tell her again Wednesday. But on the 5th time I tell her, she's going to be empowered to do it. A lot of people will tell you, to beat yourself up if you're late. Well, that takes away the fact that God knows everything. When you live out God's word, you release the ability for his promises to be released to you. You release him to fulfill his promises. And God said, in that instance, pray for your enemy. He had the miracle waiting. The whole neighborhood rising up to protect this Asian family. They were waiting. The very moment I prayed, God put it on their heart to come in and be witnesses. The police officer even told me, I said, what are we going to do? And he says, dude, you're a minority in this neighborhood. Just so you know, no one's going to come up and be a witness. 2 minutes later, the door opens. And the least likely witness that hates us, my mom hated this guy, came in and became a witness. Unreal. God also promises in Scripture that when you sow peace, you will reap a harvest of righteousness. So a lot of times, if y'all had any one-on-one ministry, that's God's goal, is to start off with peace. Let's calm down the situation. Let's calm down those emotions. Now let's get to the root cause. Let's fix it. Can everyone close your eyes for a minute? I want to pray over you all. It seems like it's been a hard season for some of us. We've gone through some hard things. So in Jesus' name, I say, peace, be still. As Jesus spoke in Mark 3:39, as he was getting up from the boat, as he rebuked the wind and the waves, I speak to your emotions, your minds, your thoughts, your life, the beating of your heart, and say, peace, be still. May the peace of God fill you and lead you. May the peace of God invade every circumstance in your life. May you be able to find the peace of God through the hardest trials and the most joyous of occasions. To hear his voice clearly. In Jesus' name. If you're online today, you're watching, and you're wanting that peace of God to fill your life. And you want a relationship with the Jesus that we're in love with. I'd like you to repeat after me as well. To say, Lord, my heart yearns for you. I ask you to be my Lord, my Savior, my Father today. I ask you to come into my heart, wash me clean of your blood, and make me whole. Today I received the gift of salvation, and I choose you as my Lord, Savior, and Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name. And I believe that if you prayed that prayer wholeheartedly, God looks at the position of your heart. If your heart is saying, yes, you are saved, you are washed clean, you are a new creation. The old is gone, and you are brand new. And if you're looking for a church and you're in Houston, come join us. We'd love to have you. Promise you we'll love on you. Have a great day.